The AFC Championship game between the New England Patriots and the San Diego Chargers is going to be a good football game. I don't know that it's going to be close, but you've got two good football teams. Well, one good football team and I think one great football team playing. Really, the Chargers are going to be up against it when they go to New England to battle the Patriots. They've got to have big plays in order to win the game. On both sides of the ball and on special teams, they need big plays. Now, the big thing is that they do have big play people. The only problem is that the Patriots don't make a lot of mistakes. And that's going to be the key to the game. Now, who knows? Maybe somebody makes a play. Darren Sproles will be the guy on special teams. He can return punts and kicks, and he does an excellent job. He is a big play guy. Of course, you got LaDainian Tomlinson is a guy who's known to make big plays, and he could break off a long run. I mentioned Darren Sproles. Of course, Michael Turner backs up LaDainian Tomlinson, and with Tomlinson coming off the knee problem, who knows? He could see a lot of time. Phillip Rivers is going to try to play. He might not play. It might be Billy Volek would be the guy at quarterback. Either way, when the San Diego Chargers have the football, they are going to be up against it because, of course, they're going against Tom Brady and that explosive Patriot offense, and they've got to try to keep up with them. So they've got to try to go after big plays. They've got to try to strike downfield. You've got Vincent Jackson, who's an outstanding. He's a big receiver, fast. They got the guy on the other side, Chris Chambers, the same kind of receiver. They're big, they're fast, they can make big plays. But it won't be easy sailing against the Patriots because the Patriots, their offense just is unrelenting, and they just continue coming after you. And so the Patriots offense will set the pace of the game, and chances are they're going to come out and they're going to be going for the jugular. Tom Brady to Randy Moss immediately. And if Randy Moss is played man-to-man, he's going to Randy Moss. If Moss is double-teamed, then Wes Welker will get in on the action. You'll see a lot of him. You'll see tight end Ben Watson, who's very effective, had a big game last week, caught a couple touchdown passes. And you also see Kevin Falk coming out of the backfield, and he's effective as a receiver. They've got so many weapons, and you got all these guys there. And then on the other side, you got Dante Stallworth, who is another home run hitter, a deep threat, and can get downfield as he did on the big play last week. In addition, you got Jabbar Gaffney, who's more of a shorter route runner, and he's very adept, has very good hands, and has been very effective playing for the New England Patriots. So they've got so many weapons. They've got so many people to throw at you. And I didn't even mention Lawrence Maroney. Got over 100 yards last week, and he's an outstanding running back. He's big, he's fast, and he's explosive. So you've got all that coming at you, and not to mention maybe the greatest quarterback to ever play in the NFL in Tom Brady. And yes, I'm saying that because he's putting up such extraordinary numbers now, and his feats, like last week where he's got 26 out of 28 passes, and he almost was perfect. And so the Chargers have to deal with all of those weapons, and really it's too many weapons. It's too much to deal with, so they're not going to be able to stop the Patriots. So what they've got to depend on is big plays, and that's why I say they've got big play people, though. And so on one side of the ball, you've got the Patriots defense dealing with some guys that are big play people, but the Patriots are smart. If you look at their defense, starts off with Richard Seymour up front. He's a veteran. He's got a lot of experience. And the thing about Richard is he's really starting to get into game shape. He didn't play the whole season. He was out about 6 games. So he's rounding into game shape just in time. Expect a big game out of him up front. Ty Warren is another effective player up there, and he'll be helping to shut down the run. And the linebackers they have. You're familiar with Ted Bruschi, who's been there for a while. But I tell you, their linebackers are old in the tooth. They're getting long in the tooth. Excuse me, they're getting old in the tooth. They're getting long in the tooth, and you can beat them. And so the Chargers have got to match up their running backs on the Patriots linebackers. They can beat them. I mean, LaDainian Tomlinson, Michael Turner, and Darren Sproles, they can beat the linebackers for the Chargers all day long. But they got to get the right matchup. They got to get them there in a situation, maybe screens, coming out of the backfield. But that might be where the big plays are. Now, you look in the secondary, you got Asante Samuels. it would be wise of the Chargers to stay away from him because he's one of the best in the game. They'll probably attack Ellis Hobbs on the other side because Ellis Hobbs usually catches most of the flack because people stay away from Samuels. And then, of course, you got to watch out for Rodney Harrison in the middle, who is a big play guy, and he's the guy that comes up with big play after big play. He's had interceptions in, I believe, his last 4 playoff games, which is a record. So the big thing with the Chargers, go after the big play, but don't turn the ball over. And that'll be up to Phillip Rivers. He's got to stay away from turnovers. And so that'll be what's happening when the Chargers have the ball. Now, as for the Patriots, I told you about all their weapons, led by the all-world quarterback in Tom Brady. But if I look at the Chargers, they do have big play people. It starts up front with Sean Merriman, outside linebacker. This guy can rush the passer. He will be coming all out. And on the other side will be Sean Phillips. Likewise, he will be coming. They'll try to get some hits on Tom Brady. They need to get to him, force a fumble, maybe run it in. Those are the kind of things that the Chargers are going to have to do if they have any chance of winning this game. They need a turnover for a score. So Merriman and Phillips get a hold of the ball, take it back in. You got a big Jamal Williams in the middle. We'll be stopping up the running attack of the Patriots. And then you look at their defensive backs, which they've got some outstanding. I mean, Antonio Cromartie is an all-pro, 10 interceptions on the year. He's the guy that can make a big play. They might match him up on Moss. He's tall, he's fast. He might be a guy who can deal with Moss, and that'll be quite a matchup. You also see Clinton Hart, who has 5 interceptions on the year. He spent some time in Philadelphia. He's having a terrific year. And on the other side, Quentin Jammer is back and ready to play, and he's a solid cornerback. So they're going to match these cornerbacks up on the receivers and see what happens. It's going to be an interesting game, but the chances are you're going to see the Patriots take over the game. They don't make the mistakes. The Chargers need them to make some big mistakes, but they don't make them. Maybe the Chargers could get somewhere with Sproles on the special teams, but he would have to have a tremendous day. But maybe he could give them a spark to keep them in the game, and they can pull off the upset. I doubt it. I'm saying it's going to be the Pats in a comfortable game. They win comfortably, 31-17. That's what I see, and we'll see what happens.